This video is designed to assist you with the commissioning of your ED900 door operator. Before we apply power to the ED900, there are several steps that must be performed. First, locate a small green 2-terminal jumper block. It's located on the printed circuit board between the motor and the white information display. This jumper is used to identify the type of mount for the ED900. If the ED900 is mounted on the push side of the door, the jumper must be inserted in the receiver towards the latch edge of the door or away from the motor. If it is not in this position, simply pull the green block straight out and reinsert it in the proper location. If the ED900 is mounted on the pull side of the door, the jumper block should be located in the receiver towards the hinge edge of the door or towards the motor. Next, we need to set the spring force, which will be used to close the door when the power is turned off. The spring force is adjusted using a 5mm hex key. It can be inserted from either side of the ED900, whichever is more accessible to you. If you look closely at the black plastic frame surrounding the adjustment, you will see a plus and minus sign to indicate the direction to turn to increase and decrease the spring force. We recommend that you turn the adjustment to 0 and then turn it 10 full turns in the plus direction. A mark on the spindle will assist you in counting the number of turns. Now we will adjust the closing speed under a power failure condition. Next to the green jumper block that you located for the type of mounting, you will see either 1 or 2 speed controls. Newer versions have only 1. By turning the center screw in a clockwise rotation, you will slow the closing speed of the door when the ED900 has no electrical power. This prevents the door from slamming closed from the spring pressure. If your ED900 is equipped with 2 speed controls, first adjust the speed control closest to the white display panel. This will adjust the latch speed from 7 degrees of opening to 0 degrees. Push the door open and allow the spring to close the door and adjust it until you have a speed which is acceptable to you. Next, adjust the second speed control, which controls the closing speed from 110 degrees to 7 degrees. Again, adjust and push the door until you have it set at the appropriate speed. Please note that the door must take longer than 3 seconds to close, or you will receive a braking circuit error after the ED900 is powered electrically. If your ED900 has only 1 speed control, it is used to set a constant speed through the entire closing cycle. Adjust to an appropriate speed, which will take more than 3 seconds to close the door. One last step before applying power is to properly set the program switches. They're located on the end of the ED900 towards the latch edge of the door. There are 2 rocker switches. One is a 2-position switch while the other is a 3-position switch. Make sure both switches are in the off or in the 0 position. Depending on whether you have a right or left hand mount, you may or may not be able to read the legend plate on the white display panel. If the print is upside down, simply pop it off by using a small screwdriver and reinsert under the 4 tabs in the correct position. Now we're ready to apply power by pushing the power rocker switch located on the end of the ED900 towards the hinge edge of the door. Push the end of the switch with the single line on it. While the unit is powering up, 2 horizontal lines will move rapidly up and down on the screen. While they are moving, momentarily push the bottom yellow button located next to the display screen. This will orient the ED900 for the correct left or right hand mounting. Please note that the bars will move up and down for about 5 seconds and then they will disappear. You must push the bottom yellow button during this time period, or you will need to turn off the power and then turn it back on to restart the process. After the ED900 is powered up, you will see a small rotating circle on the left side of the display and a letter P on the right hand side. This indicates that information is needed before the learn cycle can begin. The programming steps will use the 4 yellow buttons next to the display. Enter the program mode by pushing and holding the right-hand yellow button until 2 letters show on the display. These letters correspond to the letters shown in the program manual. AS corresponds to step 3 in the program manual and is used to set the way of mounting. Push the right-hand yellow button a second time to show the current setting of AS. The factory default is set to 0, which is for the pull side of the door. Our ED900 is a push mount, so we need to change the settings to 1 by pushing the right-hand yellow button a third time to enter the change mode. The 0 will flash indicating that you're in the change mode. Use the top or bottom yellow buttons to change the number, either to go higher or to a lower number. In this case, we'll push the top button to change the 0 to a 1. Push the right-hand yellow button again to accept the change, and the number will stop flashing. To move to the next step in the program, push the left-hand yellow button to get back to the configuration text, which will show the AS again. To move down the menu to the next step, simply push the bottom yellow button one time. You will see the letters RD, which is for the depth of the reveal. Push the right-hand yellow button one time to see the current setting, which should be the factory default of 0. Pushing the right-hand button again will cause the number to flash, indicating the change mode. Use the top number to increase the number, bottom yellow to decrease the number. Each number on the display represents 3/8 of an inch of reveal. Our reveal is 4 inches, therefore we need to set RD to 11. After selecting the number, push the right-hand yellow button again to accept the change. Push the left-hand yellow button again to return to the menu. Push the bottom yellow button to move to the next step in the menu, which is RB. RB is the designation for the door width. Push the right-hand yellow button to view the current setting, which should be 10. Each number represents 4 inches of door width, so 10 would be the setting for a 40-inch wide door. Our door is only 36 inches wide, so we'll push the right-hand button again to enter the change mode. Then the bottom yellow button to decrease the number from 10 to 9. Now push the right-hand yellow button to accept the change, and the number will stop flashing. Push the left-hand button to return to the menu, then the bottom button to move to the next step, which is DL. DL is the designation for the type of door leaf. Push the right-hand yellow button to view the current setting, which should be 0. 0 is the setting for a single leaf door. In this case, we have a single leaf door, so no change is required. Push the left-hand yellow button again to return to the menu. Push the left-hand button again, and you'll be ready to start the learn cycles. This is indicated by displaying a 0 on the right-hand side of the display. If the letter P is shown on the display, it means that something is missing in the previous steps, and you need to repeat the process for steps 3 through 6. When the 0 is displayed, you can start the learn cycle. Make sure there's nothing that will cause the door to stop during the learn cycle. This could include physical obstacles, pedestrians, walking through the door, or any safety devices that you may have connected to the ED900. Push and hold the bottom yellow button until the 0 goes away to start the learn cycle. The door will go through some movements to learn how much force is required to open and close the door. Step number 4 of the learn cycle will cause the door to stop at an opening of about 70 degrees. You will need to move the door to the position that you want the full open position to be. Release the door and it will stay on its own power. Push the bottom yellow button again to complete the learn cycle. When the learn cycle is complete, there will be 2 horizontal bars showing on the bottom of the display. If the learn cycle stops and the letter F is shown on the display, you will need to increase the spring force and restart the learn cycle by pushing and holding the bottom yellow button until the letter F goes away. When the learn cycle is complete, you will need to set the program switch to either automatic, hold open, or exit only to operate the ED900. For additional program settings, refer to the customizing feature manual.